The latest on the 2016 Summer Olympics in Rio de Janeiro. All times local 12:30 p.m. The rowers are gone and so is the wind. The canoe sprint competition has started on the Rodrigo de Freitas Lagoon without the blustery conditions that dominated the rowing regatta last week. With only the soft breeze in the air, canoeists and kayakers faced no waves except for the wakes left by competitors in front of them. "I think it's much calmer today," Swedish paddler Linnea Stensels said after qualifying for the final of the women's 200-meter sprint. "I didn't feel any waves at all." The rowing competition lost 2 days due to gusty weather. The canoe sprint competitors race on a shorter course that's less exposed to the winds. 12:15 p.m. Another American man is out of the Olympic boxing tournament with a solid performance and a lesson for the future. Antonio Vargas lost on his 28th birthday Monday, dropping unanimous decision to Uzbekistan's Shaykhoiddin Zoirov. Vargas accepted the decision with grace, even after putting on a strong third round against his older opponent. The prospect from Kissimmee, Florida, felt he could have changed things in a fight lasting longer than 3 rounds. "I learned a lot of things here, and they're going to make me a better boxer going forward," Vargas said. The 6 U.S. men in Rio dropped 9-4 at the Olympics with 1 bronze medal and 2 boxers still scheduled to fight for medals this week. That's a marked improvement on the 9-man London team, which won only 5 fights and failed to bring home the medal. The Americans' 2 women boxers in Rio are also still alive. Lightweight Mikaela Mayer fights for a medal later Monday, and middleweight Clarissa Shields finally begins her gold medal defense Wednesday. 12:05 p.m. Russia will find out early next week whether it can compete at the Rio Paralympics after filing an appeal against its ban with the Court of Arbitration for Sport. Russia was banned from the Games by the International Paralympic Committee last month when IPC President Philip Craven said evidence of mass doping cover UPS in Russia showed a medals over morals mentality incompatible with the Games. The Russian Paralympic Committee said it filed a formal appeal Monday and expected the hearing at CAA to take place Sunday with a decision by midnight August 22. Russian athletes have a mixed record at CAA, which last month upheld a ban on its Olympic track and field team, but earlier Monday allowed a single Russian athlete, Daria Klishina, to compete in Olympic track on appeal. 12:05 p.m. Anita Wlodarczyk of Poland recorded the 2 best marks in history to win the Olympic women's hammer throw final, improving the world record to 82.9 meters. The 31-year-old world champion dominated the final after throwing an Olympic record 80.40 on her second attempt, twice throwing beyond her previous world record mark of 81.08. Wlodarczyk's third attempt was her best and locked up the gold, and she followed up with 81.74 with her fifth. Zhang Wenxiu of China won the silver medal with her season-best 76.75 and Sophie Hichon of Britain moved into the bronze medal position with her last attempt of 74.54. 11:50 a.m. Medal alert. Anita Wlodarczyk of Poland has won the Olympic women's hammer throw gold medal with a world record of 82.9 meters. Zhang Wenxiu of China took silver with her season-best 76.75 and Sophie Hichon of Britain moved into the bronze medal position with her last attempt of 74.54. 11:50 a.m. Ruth Jibet opened a huge gap halfway through and didn't look back to win gold in the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase in the second fastest time ever. The world record was on the cards at the Olympic Stadium on Monday until the final few meters when Jibet slowed. She crossed in 8 minutes 59.75 seconds, less than a second off the world mark of Russia's Gulnara Galkina. The Kenya-born Jibet, who represents Bahrain, now holds 2 of the 3 fastest times ever over the barriers. Kenya's Ivan Jepkemoi, the world champion, claimed the silver medal but was over 7 seconds behind Jibet. American Emma Coburn, who led in the early stages, took bronze to be the first woman from the U.S. to win an Olympic medal in the steeplechase. 11:45 a.m. The spokesman for the Rio Games organizing committee has apologized to U.S. swimmer Ryan Lochte and 3 of his teammates over how they were robbed earlier this week, and revealed that security officials have been asked to be even more vigilant going forward. Through the U.S. Olympic Committee, Lochte said he and fellow U.S. swimmers Gunnar Bentz, Jack Conger, Jimmy Figan were robbed when the taxi they were in early Sunday was stopped by people posing as police officers. Lochte told NBC that one of the robbers held a gun to his forehead. "We obviously regret that the violence has gotten so close to athletes," Rio Games spokesman Mario Andretti said Monday. "We have requested security authorities that they need to make sure everybody's safe everywhere in the city. We apologize to those involved. Once again, we regret the violence is still an issue at these games." Street crime was a major concern of Olympic organizers going into the games, and there have been several high-profile problems on that front since the games started. 11:40 a.m. Katie Taylor is out of the Olympic boxing tournament. The Irish boxer, and perhaps the most popular athlete in the country, was upset by Finland's Mira Potkonen via split decision in a live twin bout. Taylor, the 2012 lightweight gold medalist and a 5-time world champion, is arguably the most accomplished female athlete in her native Ireland's history. Potkonen rocked Taylor with a shot to the head in the second round. With the fighters on the brink of an upset, the Finnish coaches were going wild at ringside and were nearly as entertaining as the fight. Taylor's 2016 tumble continued in the Rio Games. She lost in a Rio qualification event and again at the World Championships. She had been unbeaten for 5 years until those 2 losses and still entered as the top-ranked boxer in the world in the lightweight division. 11:40 a.m. Her voice is gone, but defending Olympic pole vault champion Jenser hopes to be well enough to compete in Olympic qualifying Tuesday. "It's looking rough right now," her coach/husband Rick Suhr said. "Pretty sick right now." He added that "we have to jump Tuesday. The final is Wednesday." Already missing from the field is Elena Isinova, the world record holder who's among the 67 Russian track and field athletes not allowed to compete after an investigation revealed a culture of widespread, state-sponsored doping within the country's program. Suhr recently said she'd like to see her biggest rival in the field at the Rio de Janeiro Games. 11:35 a.m. World champion Anita Wlodarczyk of Poland broke her own world record with her 3rd attempt in the Olympic women's hammer throw final. Wlodarczyk, who was a silver medalist at the London Olympics and won the world title last year, threw 82.29 meters to surpass the previous mark of 81.08 she set in Poland last year. She had 3 attempts remaining in Monday's final. 11:30 a.m. Medal alert. Ruth Jibba of Bahrain wins gold in the women's 3,000-meter steeplechase ahead of Kenya's Hyven Jepkemoi and American Emma Coburn. 11:30 a.m. Number 4 New Zealand defeated number 3 Australia 4-2 on Monday in the women's field hockey quarter-finals. It matched the highest goal total New Zealand has posted in 45 matches at major events against its biggest rival, dating back to 1984. New Zealand has never medaled in women's field hockey. Its best finish was 4th at the 2012 London Olympics. Australia, the 3-time gold medalist, had finished 5th in each of the previous 3 Olympics. New Zealand's Anita McLaren scored off a penalty corner just 6:25 into the match. Kelsey Smith pushed the Black Sticks' lead to 2-0 off a penalty corner midway through the second period. Australia's Carrie McMahon missed a penalty corner, but Catherine Slattery rebounded and knocked it in 3 minutes into the third period. New Zealand struck right back with a goal by Gemma Flynn, then Olivia Mary added a goal late in the third. 11:20 a.m. World record alert. Anita Wlodarczyk of Poland sets world record of 82.29 meters in women's hammer throw. 11:20 a.m. Sharon van Rovendaal of the Netherlands has cruised to a dominating victory in women's 10-kilometer open water swimming at Fort Copacabana. She earned gold in 1 hour, 56 minutes and 32.1 seconds, winning by 16.6 seconds. Raquel Bruni of Italy earned silver in 1:56.49.5. Juliana Okimoto of Brazil took bronze in 1:56.51.4, earning the host country's first swimming medal of the Games and the first ever medal in the sport by a Brazilian woman. All the country's previous swim medals were won by men. Aurélien Muller of France crossed the finish line in second but was disqualified. American Haley Anderson, silver medalist 4 years ago in London, finished 5th. 11:15 a.m. Mark Cavendish has some ground to make up in the Omnium if he wants to add to Britain's impressive gold medal haul inside the Olympic Velodrome Monday night. The winner of 30 stages in the Tour de France is tied for second with France's Thomas Boudadi behind Italian rider Ilia Viviani with 2 disciplines left in the 6-discipline Omnium. Viviani put in the strong ride in the time trial during the morning session to take the lead. There will be a new Olympic champ in the women's sprint after Australia's Anna Meares was defeated in the repechage Monday morning. Britain's Becky James and Katie Marchant are still alive. 11:05 a.m. Medal alert. Sharon van Robendaal of the Netherlands wins women's 10 km open water swimming gold at Fort Copacabana. Aurélien Muller of France takes silver and Raquel Bruni of Italy earns bronze. 10:35 a.m. two-time Olympic champion Veronica Campbell-Brown has missed out on qualifying for the semifinals in the women's 200 meters. The 34-year-old Campbell-Brown, who won the 2004 and 08 Olympic titles and was a bronze medalist at the last World Championships, was third in the last of 9 first-round heats, and her time of 22.97 seconds was not fast enough to progress. Marie-José Tautou of Ivory Coast posted the fastest time in qualifying, a personal best 22.31, followed by American Stega Stevens in 22.45 and Tara Bowie, the silver medalist in the 100, in 22.47. World champion Daphne Schippers won the first heat and advanced in 22.51. Elaine Thompson, who won the 100 Olympic title, was second in her heat in 22.63. The semifinals are Tuesday, and the final is on Wednesday night. 9:40 a.m. The women's 10 km open water swimming competition is underway at Fort Copacabana. Under sunny skies and a slight breeze, 26 women waded into the Atlantic Ocean and started the race about 250 yards offshore. The starting platform wasn't used after it broke into 3 pieces during bad weather last week. Beachgoers strolled the sands of famed Copacabana Beach, some oblivious to the Olympics going on around them. Others stood ankle-deep in the waves washing ashore. It's just the second time an Olympic open water competition is being held in open ocean waters. The other was at the first Olympics in 1896 in Athens. 4 years ago in London, open water was held in the Serpentine in Hyde Park. At the 2008 Beijing Games, it was held in the rowing and canoe final. 8:45 a.m. The International Paralympic Committee says Brazilian athlete Luciano dos Santos Pereira will miss his home Paralympics after receiving a 4-year doping ban. The IPC says the steroids stanozolol and oxandrolone were found in a urine sample provided by the Brazilian in May. The 4-year ban runs until June 2020. The Paralympics are taking place after the Olympics, from September 7 to 18 in Rio de Janeiro. 7:25 a.m. It's one happy day in Britain as the country celebrates the 5 gold medals it won Sunday at the Rio Olympics. British athletes have won 15 golds at the Games so far, putting their nation ahead of China in total medals and second only to the Americans on the medal table in Rio. Gymnast Max Whitlock scored a historic double gold win, the first time a British athlete has claimed an Olympic gold for gymnastics. He graced the fronts of most of the nation's newspapers, with one dubbing him Mighty Max. Tennis star Andy Murray took his second gold in consecutive games, the first player to win 2 golds in singles. Track cyclist Jason Kenney beat teammate Callum Skinner in the men's sprint, while Justin Rose won the first Olympic golf competition since 1904. 6:50 a.m. Day 10 of the Rio Games features athletes competing for 17 gold medals. On the track, world champion Allyson Felix of the United States will be going for her 5th career Olympic gold medal in the women's 400-meter final. Medals are also up for grabs in men's pole vault and men's 800 meters. Simone Biles, the Olympic all-around champion, is seeking her 4th gold medal in Rio, this time on the balance beam. Swimmers in the women's Olympic marathon will test Rio's dirty waters, tackling the 10-kilometer 6.2-mile course off Copacabana Beach. The heavyweights battle in boxing and wrestling. Russian world champion boxer Evgeny Tishchenko faces Kazakhstan's Vasily Levit, while Cuban wrestler Mijian Lopez takes on Turkey's Reza Kayalp. At the Rio Velodrome, Mark Cavendish of Britain tries to capture the Olympic medal that has long eluded him in the Omnium. Last Norman Hansen of Denmark leads the 6-event contest at the midway point. 6:20 a.m. It only took 17 years, and 43.03 seconds. Exploding out of the blocks Sunday, Wade van Niekerk of South Africa broke Michael Johnson's 17-year-old world record in the 400 meters in Rio de Janeiro, leaving 2 of the greatest one-lap runners of this era in his dust. Van Niekerk finished 0.15 seconds faster than Johnson ran in 1999, setting the mark considered one of the almost untouchable records in track. I thought someone was going to catch me, Van Niekerk explained. I felt very alone at the end. The 24-year-old Van Niekerk even leaned at the finish line, which he really didn't need to do, as Kirani James of Grenada and LaShawn Merritt of the United States weren't even in the picture. James, the defending Olympic champion, finished with the silver, and Merritt, who won gold in Beijing, hung on for bronze. 5:50 a.m. The World Track and Field Body has accepted the ruling by the Court of Arbitration for Sport and says Russian long jumper Daria Klitschina will be competing at the Rio Olympics. Klitschina was the only one of 68 Russians cleared to participate in Rio by the IAAF, the sport's governing body. It tried to ban her from the Olympics last week, however, after receiving what it said was new information from World Anti-Doping Agency investigator Richard McLaren. Klitschina had appealed that ban. The IAAF says we instigated the review process following new evidence presented to us. The outcome we reached to revoke Daria Klitschina's exceptional eligibility was not upheld by CAA despite the information received from McLaren, and she is therefore eligible to compete in Rio. The court said Klitschina can't take part in Tuesday's qualifying because she has been based outside of Russia for 3 years and been subjected to regular drug testing. 5:30 a.m. How many gold medals can one gymnast collect at one Olympics? Simone Biles is trying to find out. The 19-year-old American will try to make it 4 for 4 as she seeks another gold Monday on the balance beam in Rio de Janeiro. Biles already has 3 golds from the team final, the all-around and the vault, which she won on Sunday, the most golds by an American female gymnast during one Olympics. The world champion on the beam, Biles posted the highest qualifying score in Rio. Her biggest challenge will likely come from teammate Lori Hernandez, who edged Biles during the U.S. Olympic trials last month. The men will compete for individual medals in vault and still rings. 5 a.m. The real test of Rio's dirty water, or maybe Olympic athletes' immune systems, is about to begin. The women's 10-kilometer marathon swim is taking place Monday just off of Copacabana Beach, and most of the elite swimmers will take about 2 hours to complete the 6.2-mile course. Open water swimming is always difficult, but Rio de Janeiro's heavily polluted water is upping the ante this year. A 16-month-long independent analysis by the Associated Press has shown the water venues used by 1,400 athletes at the Rio Olympics are teeming with dangerous viruses from human sewage that could cause athletes to become ill. Rio, the metropolitan area of 12 million, treats only about half of its sewage, dumping the rest into nearby waters. For 25 a.m. it wasn't pretty. It involved heavy humidity, seesawing momentum and 102 unforced errors from both players. But in the end, Britain's Andy Murray became the first tennis player in Olympic history with 2 singles gold medals, winning his second in a row by wearing down Juan Martín del Potro of Argentina 7-2-5, 4-2-6, 6-2-2, 7-2-5 in a 4-hour final Sunday night. Anything could have happened, said Murray, who took the last 4 games after trailing 5-2-3 in the 4th set. Emotionally, it was tough. Physically, it was hard, so many ups and downs. Murray's terrific returns, impenetrable defense and track down every ball coverage countered the 6'6" Del Potro's booming serves and furious forehands. No man ever has defeated the top 3 seeds on the way to a gold, but Del Potro sure came close before winding up with a silver. Earlier Sunday, Kei Nishikori won bronze, Japan's first Olympic tennis medal since 1920. 3:40 a.m. You knew he could do it. He knew he could do it. And he did it. Usain Bolt sauntered onto the track Sunday night and waved his hands, signaling for more applause even before the race in Rio de Janeiro began. The Jamaican sprinter's swan song in the Olympic 100 meters was a pedestrian by his standards 9.81-second sprint, capped off by pointing to his chest a step before the finish line. "It was brilliant," Bolt said. "I didn't go so fast, but I'm so happy I won. I told you guys I was going to do it." Bolt won his record-setting 3rd straight title and his 7th Olympic gold, beating American Justin Gatlin, who was greeted with raucous boos, by 0.08 seconds. Andrew Ross of Canada took the bronze. Bolt has a chance for 2 more golds in Rio, in his favorite race, Thursday's 200-meter final, and then in the 4x100 very late Saturday night. 2:10 a.m. The lone Russian track and field athlete at the Olympics has won her appeal to compete at the Rio de Janeiro Games. The Court of Arbitration for Sport ruled early Monday morning that long jumper Daria Klishina is eligible to take part in Tuesday's qualifying. Klishina was the only one of 68 Russians cleared to participate in Rio by the IAAF, largely because she has been based outside Russia for the past 3 years. But the sport's governing body banned her from the Olympics last week after receiving what it said was new information. CA ruled that Klishina was eligible to compete because she fulfilled the requirements set by the IAAF. The long jump final is scheduled for Wednesday,